has dash of Dave. He'll take some scraps and bits of this, turn them into something you can't miss. Junk journals, tapes, and crafts galore. He'll have you begging, show me more. Oh, dash of Dave, oh, what a sight. Mixing colors, day and night.
Dasher Dave here again, and I'm back for the second half of the crafty video that I started before, where we're making one of those old-fashioned PO boxes, post boxes, that kind of thing. I have changed my mind on a few things. I have just worked out a few other bits, and I think we're gonna kind of assemble it. So the things I've changed my mind on are the door. I have decided I want to have it foiled so that I can kind of age it looking like aged metal. Not all of it will be foiled. The dial will also be foiled, which I decided to go with the smaller one of those. The knob won't be, but I don't know what I'm going to do with it. The edging will also be foiled, but are made to look aged. Yeah, and that's where I've got. So I do have a piece of foil standing by that I have smoothed out. So basically I've spent some time trying to get all of the creases out of it by just doing this. You know, like when you rub it with the back of your nail. This is just an expanded version of that, and the only reason why it's on that piece of card is because it's now very, very static, and it just keeps sticking to everything. So I'm going to deploy the Xyron. I'm going to deploy the Xyron.
Deploy the Xyron. Super sticky is what we need. Deploy the Xyron. Our creativity free.
Make it Xyrony. Oh no, make it sticky, sorry. Not Xyrony at all. The Xyrony of it all. I had a look at my cartridge and I am running out. I do have another partly used cartridge that I bought from scrap, actually. They didn't know what it was, so I bought it. But it has about as much left on it as that one has now, and that's not got a lot on it. So I will, of course, be absolutely devastated when I have run out, because I love my Xyron, and that's the whole reason why I don't use it a lot, is because I love it so much. Which is always the way, isn't it? So I have just had a quick peeky look just online, not on any specific site. And in the UK, I can get a refill for it for £173. Not going to happen. When I bought it, well, when I had it bought for me, actually, when I originally had it, the cartridges were about £20. So it's a significant increase in. I should have invested in Xyron. I don't know whether they're still going, like I've said before, but I should be devastated when I can't use it anymore. I think it's a fantastic idea, and somebody should try to revive it, because now there's all of these machines out there that are all made of solid plastic that isn't good for anyone, man the beast. So I should peel this off now here, and then I will bring this in and hopefully get this laid down on here without creasing it anymore. There might be some marks in it, but I was thinking if there's some patina in it, I don't mind the patina because it helps it to look aged, a bit like me. So I will plonk it down, or how shall I do it? I'll kind of curve it so I'm not putting it all down at the same time, like that. Now turn it over. Like I say, there's going to be some marks in it, so we can't be too devastated by it, but I wanted it to look a little bit more metallic than flat, and this is the only way that I could think of to do that. Like I say, I don't have any metal cardboard. What's metal cardboard called? Mirror board. Don't have any mirror board. That's what I don't have. Nail, because I've just squeezed it all out. What am I going to do this time? I'm going to glue the foil. There you go. Even I don't know. This time I'm just going to do, because it's the last edge, I'll just do it that way. And then glue it down. And again with this corner, just fold it back on itself. It stays out of the way. And the same on there. Back on itself. And I get a nice pointy corner, but also it's all nicely enclosed. So there we go. That is the front of it now. Like I say, it's got a bit of patina on it, but we don't mind the patina. That's going to go on that side and encase the layers together, so you don't see you can see all the foil in the background. That's going to be the inside anyway. We won't encase it yet because we've got to put the hinges in. And the other thing we need to do is we need to put these on. So what I've done is I've cut a little frame. It's very flimsy. It's not about the rigidity of it. What I want to do is have something by which to glue this to. So I can get this in the right place. I mean, it might not be perfectly square, but I can kind of get it in the right sort of place. And then I can just tack it down whilst I stick this into the right place, and then I can glue all the parts onto it and it be a frame I can just move over and onto the other piece. So that's why I've done it. A bit of method to my madness. I know it seems like it was just madness and there's no method, but that's the reason why I'm doing this. It's an extra bit that I didn't expect to do, but at the end of the day, I want it to look fairly decent and not keep moving around. As you saw, I was struggling with that other piece, so I can glue this down to here, but also then pick it up, move it, and put it onto the other piece. So I think I might see if I can get that to kind of go a bit. Right, it's going to have to curve a little bit more at the top. This is one of the big good things about having this like this, is that I can kind of just reshape it, pick it up, reshape it, stick it back down again. It got too much of a point on the corner for me to put this on a square line and be able to get that somewhere being square. I want the top edge of that to look fairly square, because like I say, the frame might not be perfect, but it's just there to kind of help me glue stuff to. I want to put that on there. Right, that part of the frame is going to get in the way if I do that, so don't cut the thing, Dave. Pick that up. See if we can cut some of this frame out. outer edge that we want fairly straight. The inner edge, there's no, serves no purpose really. So it's just so that it can be, so when I glue it down, I don't have to see all of the. So I did kind of finish this. So this is what we've got. So this is I've glued it to this little frame so that I could then lay this and move it around, etc. So that's going to go on there. It's not perfect. It's not 100% straight, but you know, I am very happy with it. It looks vintage. It looks handmade. There's a little bit here that I'm not happy with, where it doesn't quite meet, but I think I'm just gonna control snip that off. Yeah, that's better. Okay, so I'm gonna do that piece separately from that, because I think that you know, it would have been added on afterwards. So what I just want to do is kind of attach this better so it's not quite so wobbly, and although actually no, I don't need to, because I'm going to attach it to that. So I will start, I think I'm going to start inking. So I'm going to ink this, its gorgeousness. So I think I'm going to use just a piece of random paper background. Let's get that out of the way. Sorry, every time I take a drink I get water in my moustache and then it flies off, so sorry about that. So I think maybe we go for something kind of, I was thinking red in the background. What's that? That's currant and that's cranberry. Make it more of a reddy coloured metal. I don't know, or am I going mad? I just don't want it to be the same as the other bit. We want it to be different. Well, we can always put it on and take it off again, can't we? So, okay, so let's just do this, Dave. Oh, actually, no, oh no, I will use that, because I do want it to be a bit more textured, because it's got to be pushed into the pattern. We don't want it to be flat. So let's just see what currant looks like. Oh, nice. Oh, that is lovely. That's pinky. Yeah. Doesn't smell like currants, so don't eat it. I guess if I was feeling really artistic, I could paint all of the things individually. No, not happening. You might want it to, you might be wishing for it. It's not going to happen. I'm just telling you now. So I am not that kind of an artiste. I bet it wouldn't work on alcoholic anyway. So it seems to be soaking up. Oh, it's a sponge. It seems to be soaking up a lot. That's why. It's a sponge, Dave. I'm not going to just do it this colour. I will add some other colours to it. I want it to, I certainly want to lose all of the metal look to it. So is this wrong to do this? Don't know. Didn't go wrong. I didn't know whether it was going to be a disaster if I put that onto the metal. So you can see where I've done a join here, but you know, I'm not worried about it. We'll just say it's repair. Don't keep going up there, Dave. You want to cover it all first. don't want to, the problem is I don't want to press too hard, because if I press too hard I'm going to flatten the embossing. I don't want to do that. Okay, so that's the currant. And we've got cranberry. Is that going to be too red? I don't mind. Let's play. It's going to take off some of the currant anyway, so it's my current feeling. Maybe I should have gone with... So let's just put some on dough and then worry about it later. Is it kind of mingled now? Do I get right? I need to kind of just tilt it up to me because I just need to see. I quite like it. I don't know whether it's quite what I wanted it to be. Do I just abandon it and go for a different colour? Because it doesn't matter. It's going to take more colour because the alcohol will just... What's this? Sienna. What's this? Red pepper. Do we kind of mute it down with a bit of Dijon? I'm going to just apply a bit of Dijon, see what happens. So remember, we want it to look old, so... But you know, I don't mind that either. So I think I might go... let's go cover it with a bit of Dijon. We want it to look like it's faded glory, so put some Dijon on it. Everything goes better with a bit of mustard, so Dijon mustard. It's an interesting colourway that you've chosen, Dave, but interesting isn't always good. But in this on this occasion, oh, I like that actually. I like the way that that's kind of turned. It's turned a corner. So let's put those back, and then we will probably not sienna. That might be a bit much. So go with caramel. What have we got? Caramel ginger. It might be a bit orange. Although the orange might be. Let's go with a bit of ginger, see what happens. So, kind of want to make it look like it's got a bit of patina to it, so. But don't want to go too mad with it. Like it's been pretty at one point, but not necessarily now. I like it actually. I think it looks pretty. So, forget the look like it used to. I think it does now. So let's see what that looks like. Is this just a piece that I haven't done anything? Oh, this is a piece of shiny, so it's not going to be the right thing, but. Oh, you can tell what that means, can't you? I want more. Something a bit darker, maybe. Teak wood. This could be a bit dark. But good thing about alcohol ink is you can just keep going and it'll obliterate what you don't like. So See what I mean? I needed to have glued it together so that it was a continuation of the staining rather than looking like separate pieces glued together after it had picked up its patina. Let me lift it up. I was going to say, let me lick it. No, that's not what I meant. Let me lift it up. It's a little bit darker this side than it is there, so I can't remember. Is that the dark bit? Yeah, it was darker that side, so I like the colours. You know, there's a bit of interest to it, like it's faded over time, and it was a bit more interesting colour. So I like that. I don't know whether I want to do any more to that. Let's put those back in and have a look and see how I feel about that. Yeah, there's a little bit there that's a little bit blotchy, but I know it's fine now. Do I want more? I always want more. More. I want more. Okay, so let's get a bit more pink out of it, see if we can get a bit more currant, maybe. Currant. Is it currant that I want? Yeah, let's go currant. Now we've got some dark on there. Currant might just be a nice extra layer that's makes it look a little more interesting. Oh yeah, I like that. Yeah, right, now you like it, leave it. Okay, so next is the flat piece. So we can move this. We'll leave that over here to dry, and we will get in. We'll get the dory bit in. The dory? What? John Dory? We'll get this in. Do we go for, now we've got that, which I'm happy with, shall we go down the lines of it being a darker background? So more of a, yeah, maybe more of a gunmetal colour. Let's just play, Dave. As you've seen, we can rub it all out. So let's see how that looks against there. That's much better. Much better. Right. So this is still moving, so it's not going to sit like that. Do we go in and kind of tamp it off a bit? I do prefer it this way. This is kind of picking up a bit of, going a little bit green as well. Quite like that. Is that something we should encourage? Look, it's definitely going very greeny coloured. Do I put some green in it? I'm kind of thinking to suggest kind of a bit rusty in places, but I don't know whether that's going to be the effect that we get. But we're saying we can rub it out, so... And you might be thinking, well, that's a waste of ink, Dave, but hey, it's my ink, so... And if we put, maybe if we put a tiny bit of... There's nothing, I don't have any verdigris as such. Maybe a tiny bit of this, which is teal, I think. Just in a few areas, just around where the greeny bits are. Of course, you're not going to see this bit here, right? So, and in that case, then maybe a bit of ginger to give it a bit of rust. Caramel, ginger. Also just get rid of the brightness of that teal. Can't really see the ginger in it, but there you go. I quite like that though. I like the effect. I don't know whether that's kind of what I was going for, but hey, I was not really going for anything. So if I put that on there, will that look... Yep, I like that on there. That's fine. So it's going to keep moving, so I'm not going to play too much. Right, I do need to do something with the dial though. So I will put that over there. So it might not look exactly the same next time you see it, and that's because it will just keep moving until it's happy. So, oh, that's my dial. That's the bit I wanted. So, this I'm going to make more of a traditional kind of bronzy kind of colour, I'm thinking. So we'll go, let's go teak first. Right, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to give it a clean with something. Just so we're starting without any fingerprints. And then go from there. Oh no, I can't do that, Dave. Any more colour on that. I think that's going to keep moving and just change itself a bit. I've kind of made it blobby now. I'm going to leave it at that, I think, and see how that turns out. some of it off. I think that's going to look great, actually. So yeah, so that is the dial. This is the thing it's going to go on to. Yeah, that's good. It stands out nice and punchy. And then this is the frame. So I've got to wait for all of this to dry before I do anything else. Yeah, I like that. It goes well with the colour, the background colours now. So I'm going to have to leave that to dry, and then I will come back to you. Okay, so I've just been playing and I've been kind of putting pieces together. I don't know whether I'm going to bother with having this as a turning thing. Which I know is a bit of a waste, isn't it? Because I've just spent time making this. But I was thinking if it was just on there. What I thought I might do is cover that in foil. Not easy because I can't stick it through the Xyron, and I can't stick the foil through the Xyron because that would be a mess. But I was thinking if I just coated it in some... Oh, or I could gild it. It would need to be a much smoother surface though if I'm going to gild it. Yeah, probably not gilding then. Not gilding. Need to cover it with something. Or do I need to cover it with something? Can I just... I don't know. Stain it, ink it. Ink it. Let's try inking it first. Before I do anything else, let's ink it. So, let's go with maybe something... let's go with Rusty Hinge first. And see how that kind of changes it. You know when like you start doing something and it starts one way and it ends up another. I did say that at the beginning that this could go completely different to the way I first anticipated it. I do think I'm going to have a more decorative knob. The small things that make you laugh, Dave. So I need a... that's what I'm looking at. So is that smaller than that? It is. That's fine. So do we go with having something in a... Maybe I make that a colour with some... I really want to get inky again, but I could just do it with a bit of a dab. Is that the right way around? If I just put the gloves on with the ink on the inside? I don't know. We'll soon find out. Or not. So maybe a bit... Let's just revive that and see if that gives me a colour. It does give me a colour. But I can't hold it down. Not I can't hold the colour down. I can't hold the disc down. Just thinking it, if I could do that and then not having to get more stuff out, I could just revive that colour. Although I might just give it a blob of... What colour did I use for that? Was that this? Oh, that's gone very, very dark now. I don't mind it looking a bit worn or patchy. At the end of the day, it's the front of that knob, and so it could have, got dirty over time. So, just going to dry this off, bear with. It's not dry at all, but never mind. Okay, so it's not dry. just stuck my finger in it. It's not dry. So this is all doesn't take any colour because it's got glue on it. So, but it's fine. So I've done that layer. I'll get a bit of vintage photo on it as well. Just darken it down a bit more. Does it look fairly... Oh yeah, this looks fairly uniform, doesn't it? So, and then we're going to have this on here, which is fine because it looks a little bit worn and old. So I will stick that on. Is it dry now? Yes, I believe it is. I'll stick this onto here just to cover up that hole. In fact, I shall make sure it's still in the middle before I do that, actually. Just hold that down for a minute. So, I think I'm going to assemble this, encase my plastic in the window bit, and then I will then do something with the woody part of it. So I don't think, yeah, like I say, I don't think I'm going to have this as a turnable knob. It's just an extra thing that it just I don't need it to be. So I'm just going to flatten it out. You know, when I did the call thing, the intercom thing, those buttons didn't work. They didn't call anybody. So I don't need to do it like that. So I'm going to glue this down. So how am I going to, what's the best thing to do? I think not Kalal, because it's a bit too thin, is Kalal. The 3-in-1 plus Kalal should be, its problem is it's acetone and it doesn't mix, does it? It doesn't like alcohol. It kind of, I don't want it to change the surface of this. No, I won't use that actually. I will just use quite a bit of this instead. We'll just have, I wanted to use the 3-in-1 stroke Kalal because it's got a bit more dimension to it. But the problem is, it's because it's got acetone in it. You use acetone to remove alcohol ink, and I don't want it to kind of seep out and ruin the finish that we've got. So, hence the reason why I've changed my mind and going for this now. So, now I know this might be a lot too much, but I will just kind of spread it out before I stick it down. With something I don't have to hand. What? I'll use this. Because it's dimensional, it's going to get into the little nooks and crannies anyway. So, you know, it's dimensional because it's embossed, is what I mean. So we shouldn't have too much squirting out or squeezing out or leakage. Right, that's the... There we go. Oh, I like that. I like that indeed. That's window isn't quite in the middle, is it? So, or that's the frame's not quite right, but that's going to be our thing up there. Sorry, my fingers are very sticky. I was thinking I could do with a little pointy arrow of some kind. So maybe, I don't know what to do a pointy arrow in I was thinking it needs to have a little point pointing down to whatever the number is on here, and I know there are no numbers, but I was thinking I could maybe just make some indentations. Don't think you really see it, but never mind. There's one. We don't have to have 10. We're having 8 because it's easier. There you go. You can just see the indentations. That's fine. And we'll have that stuck to there. Do I like it enough to stick it down? Am I happy with it? Is it good? Do we like it? Yeah, we're going to stick it down. I do like it. So I just have to kind of just talk myself into some things sometimes. So like I say, I'm not going to make it a twisty-turny thing. It's just going to be stuck down. I think maybe that should have been stuck down underneath there, so just going to squeeze a bit of. I was hoping not to do that. Just to kind of hold it down a bit, but a bit this side as well. Just what happens when you change your mind, Dave. So I think that needs to be kind of just held like that. Is there? Do I have a? No, I don't have anything that will reach that far in. I don't think. Or maybe that. Sorry if the light's moving around. It's me trying to get stuff. Is that going to hold that down? It is. Just while I do other stuff. So I was making a little arrow, wasn't I? So, do I have something? Stop cheating and making and using other things. What do you want to do, Dave? You want to make it more. Oh, we could just cut the corner of this off, couldn't we? No, we don't want to do that, Dave. So now I'm into territory where I don't feel comfortable. You'll hear me talking to myself a lot more. So, oh, I've got another. There is another blade somewhere, but I do have one out. Where the heck is the other blade there? This is going to be way too long, I know, but. That's not straight, is it, Dave? That's not straight at all, Dave. Straight. That's what we're going for. So I think we will. I'll leave it on there, and I will ink it now. In fact, I'll ink the other side and see what the other side looks like as well, and maybe make this a bit darker. I like that side better. That side's got a slight blemish on it, so I was thinking having it bit like that. And then cut that off. Where are my scissors? Oh. Can we shove that? Sorry, and clip that. Can we shove that under there, or have we stuck it down now, Dave? No, we can get it under there. That's fine. So that is going to go there, like that. Yeah, that's going to go like that. I wanted it to be kind of a bit floating, but I don't want it to be. I think I might glue the tip down. In fact, I might glue something underneath it. Let's get a pile of clippings. Where are you? Where is everything? Goodness knows. So, get a few of these. Get them out of there. Glue them together, and then that should make it so it sits a bit proud of that surface. Put one more on. Now I know this has been an epic make, but I hope it looks good. This is what I was thinking of for a handle, but I don't like it. I could have done with having something integrated into it, but I don't have anything because I didn't integrate anything. So I think we're going to go without a handle, and we use the knob as the handle. So hopefully that is acceptable for everybody. Yeah, I said to myself I was going to make a handle, and then I forgot. Which is always the way. I do these things. I say a lot of things. I do a lot less of them. So I'm going to stick that in there. So it, oh no, not there. Stick that to there. And fold it down so it looks like it's hovering, but we know what's underneath it. So there we go. That's my little dial for the combination-y thing, but which doesn't turn. We need to put the window in, which is this. That's what we're going to use. So I will use this as the size for it, because this is the piece that came out. So this can go there. Put this around the window, I think. And then brush that away from the edge so it doesn't squeeze out onto the window. Pop that down. That's our little viewing window. Oh, I was trying to make it so it didn't ooze out, but it has. So not just has it oozed out, but it's fallen off. So let's get another piece, Dave. Don't use the piece that's got glue all over it, Dave. Idiot. Oh, I tell you what, why don't you just have all of the pieces with glue on? Instead of using that, use the die cut that doesn't have any glue stuck to it. Hopefully we can get this glued down before the glue dries. Hopefully that looks like a nice 1920 style door. And then what we will do is, that will sit over there and dry. Don't sit like that, Dave, because it'll just stick to everything. Right, put my die away, and then I'm going to clear up a bit, and then we'll ink that. So let's get the doors finished. So all I've done is I've taken the cocktail stick out of there, and I've cut them down to the right size. So I've got two for the hinges so they don't stick out like that. And we're going to ink these down. So this is just going to be on the inside. So I'm just going to go with something kind of coppery kind of look. Sorry, my cyst is really painful and itchy at the minute. So if you insist. Like I say, I'm just going to get the colour on. The inside is not such a big deal. Hang on, is that the right side? Yes, it is. Because it's the inside, but we still want to make it look, you know, pleasant and nice. And the frame, I think I'm going to go a bit darker, so it's a bit more, you know, aged wood, kind of maybe teaky sort of colour, or bronzy. I don't know. I can't decide whether I want it to look wood coloured or whether I want it to look metal coloured, but either way it will look beautiful. So I don't know why there's some splatter marks on here. I think I must have got glue on it at some point, but it's fine. And look how orange that has gone. I know it's over egging the pudding if I've kind of put orange in it as well, but just a few kind of patches to make it look a bit more uneven. Might even do a bit of a smooshing with that. Yep, there we go. Cool, that's what I wanted. Yep, that's cool. Okay, so I also want to that ground espresso. I want one of the older ground espressos. I don't know which one's older. That looks fairly new. Yeah, that one's definitely older because it's all gone shiny. And then I want to kind of just smoosh over the surface so it just darkens it on a few bits, a few areas, and that window bit. Cool, yep, we like that. That's looking good. So that's fine for the inside of that door. And then the frame. So we need to take this apart so that we can colour it. We need to be careful so that we don't smoosh this. Also, I want these to look a bit like not metal. Yeah, metal. But what's the colour? What's the orange colour? Coppery kind of. Yeah, copper kind of look to it. So they look like they are hinges rather than made of wood. So they're going to stick through the thing. So that and that I want to look fairly. In fact, I'll do inside this as well, so that if you can see inside it, it doesn't look like cardboard. There you go, it's better. I'm gonna have orange fingers tomorrow, aren't I? Standard, really. colour this bit. You're not going to see this because that's going to be glued, but just in case that you can see it through the hole is what I mean. So again, we'll just do this. Kind of a bit interesting inside. Just so you can't see I want them to be a similar sort of colour. They don't have to be exactly the same yet, they are. And then that one is the other one. Do that inside as well. Cool, yep, that's that. You're not going to see much of this, so I've also, if you noticed, I've kind of cut the tab bit down because I didn't need all of that tab. So those two are going to be the hinges, so I want to make them a little bit I say dirty. Dirty isn't necessarily what I want. I just want them on the edges where they've taken the strain of opening and closing. It's a little bit darker on the very edge, and I don't know whether you're even going to see this, but like I will, and therefore I'm going to. So that's that bit there. Yeah, you can see it. I think you can see it. And the same on this one. Just like I say, just on the edge. Which means we'll also do the inner side of those. Tiny bit on the top part, but that's not really going to have taken any strain, but like it's just going to give it a suggestion of dirt. Same on there. And then, like I say, just on the top there. And on the bottom there. But then more so on the inside. Not easy to do because it's on the inside. So that one's got to go that way up because then that looks like it's run down a bit, when somebody's oiled it and that sort of thing. Too much attention to detail, I know, but hey. 'Tis me that we're talking about. Yeah, those two. Right, okay. I'd say let's do the frame and then we can get that assembled. And I think I might cut something to go on the background of this. Can't remember how big this was. It's been a while now, so 8.5 by 6.5. In fact, I'm going to cut an 8.5 by 6.5 piece to glue on, not glue on the back, but well, yeah, maybe glue it. I think then I'll have it as a pocket to push things into, so you can put something in that window. 8.5 by 6.5. Just remember that, Dave. Don't cut your wire, Dave. I don't know, maybe it's I don't even know what I was going to say. Maybe it's something that can't be said because I don't know what it was what I was going to say. So put that like that. I'm going to put a thumb hole in there. It doesn't have to be in the middle because it's not really going to be seen. It's just going to be at the back, and then that can stick to there. Yeah, cool. So I will. This also needs another frame, doesn't it? I need another piece that's 8.5 by 6.5, which is a pain in the bum, isn't it? There's another piece of cardboard. Because I need that to be doubled, because I won't be able to... That's going to be stuck to the back of there. I won't be able to slide something down the back of it, because it'll catch on that. So, okay. So I've done that bit. I've cut an extra frame. I will glue it shortly, but what I want to do is I want to ink this down, make it a bit darker. Round espresso. Do I want to go that dark? No, I'm going to start lighter. So let's go with frayed, not frayed burlap. That's the wrong colourway. Vintage photo. What have I got? Gathered twigs, old paper. Let's go brushed corduroy first. So those bits don't need to be inked because they're not going to be seen. Well, you'll see that bit at the back until we put something in it. But this is going to be seen. So I want this to kind of look like old wood metal because I haven't decided. So we're just going to get some colour on it first and then go from there. Make it look nice and dark like we've done before. In fact, I'm going to smoosh some of that on it because it gives it texture. We like the texture of it because it implies age, wearing, scratches, wear and tear. Once you've done it once, you can go around again. Put a bit more on. Who are you calling a moron? Stop saying that, Dave. Only you find it funny. So let's do that. So then we can go maybe vintage photo. In fact, I'm going to do again that without anything, without a safety net. Put that on first, and then we can kind of go back in with the detailed colour. So let's go in with the right. Do I have a newer vintage photo? Is that the newer one? Yes, I think it is. So just making it a bit more wood-like. I mean, like, it definitely looks more like wood. I think wood is the colour I'm going for. It's much harder to make just cardboard look like metal, you know, unless you're going to put some metallics on it. So, but don't want to get too heavy with this because otherwise I'll end up creasing it all. So. Yeah, so I want this to have a little bit of, picked up a bit of colour from the hinges. So around here I want to put a smooshing of, I'm going to use orange because it's going to be a bit deeper colour. You're only going to see the bottom of that bit. No, you're not even going to see that, Dave. I don't even know if there's any colour in this. Is that? Yeah, we've got a little bit of colour in it. So, you know, at the bottom of a hinge, you always get a bit of a dirty mark. So, there we go. That's better. It's got an orangey dirtiness to it, so that's what I wanted. Put the lid back on there, right, and then I actually want that one now, rusty hinge. Just a bit more on there. You're not going to see that, that's why I didn't bother with the one at the... There you go, perfect. Right, well, it's not perfect, but it's perfect for me. So then this can all be smooshed into here. think I'm going to have a dark colour. On it as well. I don't want to go too dark because I don't want to obliterate what I've just done on the hingy bit. So I'm going to go with walnut stain rather than espresso, rather than ground espresso. I think walnut stain has just a bit of more of a warmth to it than espresso. And again, I'll just do this first and then I'll put some direct smooshing on. Don't want to go too heavy though, so there we go. So a bit of direct smooshing just to give it some texture. And also it will lighten up anyway, so once you've let it dry. Cool. So now I think is time for the assembly. Okay, so one of these is, so that's the bottom part. So that's going to go in there. So you see it's not the same colour, but I didn't want it to be because otherwise you don't have hinges made out of wood. So that's going to go through there. And I won't splay it out at the back until I know it fits properly. That one is that way round. Is it? No, it's not. It's the other way. We also want, just realised, I want the bottom bit of that to be darker. Because that will indicate why that's got such a dark bit at the bottom. There we go. So that's going to go in there. Like that. Just going to check I'm still recording. I am. That's going to go in there like that. Come on. Go in there. Cool. So I'm just going to press that down so it displays out the background. Okay, so then this is going to be our bit that's going to go between. So we need to put this in the right sort of place. Right, now let's put the big versions of the cocktail sticks in first, because I can get these ones out again easier. Put that there. That one. And there. Might have to colour the cocktail stick slightly because you can see it. Where's the other one? I don't know. Just to cut it down. There you go. And then this one. In there. Right, okay, so then they can be in the right places. I'm going to glue them down together, so they glue it together, glues itself together, because then that'll stay put better. Don't glue it to the cocktail stick though, Dave. And the same on this one. Why aren't you gluing together? Just being a pain, aren't you? That's why, yes. Of course you are. So that's going to go on there. It needs to be glued there. So I'm going to make that commitment to gluing this down. won't squash all out all round, but so put that up, line it up with there. Cool, that's going to stick like that, so I'm going to flip that over, hopefully, and make sure it works. It does. It'll be better when it's glued, all glued down, like that, yep. And then I'm going to take these bits out, so I can move that now. Just give that a press down, and then I'm going to glue this to the back. And whilst you can see that edge, I will just give it a colour with something. In fact, I'm just going to use a Sharpie along that edge. Is that working? Just so it's not bright silver, but if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. So. That way, then, if any of it sticks out, it's not, can't be seen as the silver. I mean, can't be seen as much. This is probably the worst Sharpie in the world because I don't think it's working very well. Come on, why are you not working? Because it's probably running out, maybe. So, stick that back in there. Right, just put that together and hopefully less visible. It's less visible. It's not perfect, but it's less visible. Right, so I'm going to glue this down and glue it right to the edge. I'm going to glue around the window, but not too much because I don't want it to squeeze out into the window. So I'm going to kind of come up fairly close, not too close, and then lots in the space around it. Especially, which side is it that's got the hinges? This side. Pop that onto there. Line it up. Make sure it lines up with that window, which it does. Cool. Then push it down, not too hard because you don't want to make everything flat. And I know it doesn't have a number on it, but what I was thinking is I was going to put like a really badly stuck sticker on the window. So, but I might have a think about that. So, right, now I'm going to glue these bits down. And anything that overhangs can be cut off. We just want to glue those flat first. That bit glued down and that bit glued down. I won't put the backing panel on just yet. I want to kind of get there's a bit that gives it a bit more maneuverability on the hinges then. Rusty hinge maybe. Same on this one. I don't mind that they're not going to be perfectly dark, but they're just going to look kind of blend in a bit more. Maybe have a bit darker on that. I wasn't wasn't very dark, was it? Oh, that's better. That one needs to be a bit darker. I'm not happy with that, so let's get some, what's that? Walnut stain. Will do. Cool. So these are going to go into here. Pop that in there. And what I'm going to do is, once I've put that in, got it fed through. Now is not the time to be a pain. Once it's fed through, what I'm going to do is I'm going to squirt a tiny bit of glue in this bit, in that bit. And that should hold the pin in place whilst allowing it to pivot on the on its hinge, because this piece is still free. Come on, this is not the time to be misbehaving now. That's gone through now, that's fine. And again, just a tiny bit of glue. Maybe there, actually. Oh, that's better. I can actually see it this side. Bit of glue on there. And then we will glue that to its frame. Yep. So I'll put the glue on this, I think. Go all the way to the edge. All the way to the inner edge. And then pop that onto there. And line it up so that we don't see anything. If we do, we're going to have to cut it off. I think I can just see something this side, this edge, but never mind, I'll cut it off. A little bit inside there that I want to cut off. So where's my blade? It's there. And then there's a bit of hinge there. There's this very edge here, which I'm just going to use a ruler for, so I don't cut the whole thing apart. That off, yeah, and then I'm just going to ink that edge so you can't see it, ink that edge as well so you can't see it, and ink that edge. And there we go. So let me just have a quick tidy up and then we can... So there we go. So I hope you think that that was worth waiting for. It has got a little bit of glue still waiting to dry there, but it opens up like so, and we will have this on the back so that we can put, in fact we can do that now, we can put that on and then we can fill it with something. So what that is, it's alright, I'm not speaking backwards, I just can't string a sentence together. What that is, I do not know. we're going to just have this so like a 3 sides pocket, and then we can put whatever we like inside. Might be cool to put like a letter in there, wouldn't it? So there we go. That's going to include those 3 sides. And there we go. So it opens up. We've got a little frame that we can put something in. I've taken a divot out of the back bit. And there we go. So I really love it. I like it. You know why? This background bit looks very much like the front of like cast iron safes. Safes? Is it safes? Is the plural of a safe? Safes. Who knows? Answers on a postcard. So that's what I like about this. I think that's what was like telling me that was right, is because it's that kind of patina that you get on the front of a safe. A bit like the same kind of metal that you get on a Singer sewing machine. It kind of starts to change a bit of colour, and it used to be black, and like now it's like, anyway. So yeah, so we've got our little knob here, which we decided not to go with it being a turny knob, but it opens up and you can put something in the background so that you can see it through the window. I will put some kind of I might put a little tiny number in that space there. If I had one to hand, I might, but I just suddenly went, because I do have a number here, but is it 29th? It's not right. It doesn't look right. So I've also just thrown something in my tea. So it's all right. The tea's empty. It's just that the thing is now wet. So yeah, there you go. So I hope you like that. I hope that was worth the wait, and you might, give that a go or something like it, or you might be excited to see what next falls out of my mind. So anyway, thanks very much for watching. My name is Dash of Dave, and I love you all without exception, until you give me a reason not to. So don't give me a reason not to, and make sure you subscribe, like, share, comment if you wish, and I will see you in the next video. So my next video will be the collaboration for Tracy Fox doing Creep on June, and my day is Friday the 20th of June. So I hope you'll join me for that, and I will see you then. So take care, folks. Lots of love. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Lots of hugs. And I'll see you very soon. Bye. Bye.